Picture this, early morning, before the world even wakes up, before the noise of the day creeps in, before the phone starts buzzing and the weight of responsibilities press down on your shoulders. It's in that stillness, that silence, that sacred hour where the seeds of greatness are planted. See, if you can command your mornings, you can command your life. If you can shape your first thoughts, your first words, your first actions, you can shape the destiny that unfolds for you. When you are clear, morning devotion is not just about routine. It's about setting the tone, aligning your spirit, and deciding who you're going to be before the world decides for you. I stand here to tell you, the most powerful time of your day is not when you're on the stage, not when you're at the meeting, not when you're at the celebration. It's when you're alone in the quiet, having that conversation with God, with yourself, with your vision. That is where strength is forged. That is where faith is built. That is where you gather the courage to step into a world that will test you, doubt you, push you. Morning devotion is your armor. It's your foundation. It's the fire that keeps burning even when life tries to dim your light. And I know some of you are tired. Some of you are fighting battles nobody else sees. Some of you are carrying dreams that feel too heavy. But let me tell you something. The morning is your chance to rise again, to declare this is my day, to say no matter what happened yesterday, today I begin anew. You don't need perfect conditions. You need the discipline to show up. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the first step in faith. Morning devotion, that quiet, consistent commitment can change your life if you let it. Discipline in the morning creates discipline in life because how you start your day determines how you carry yourself throughout the hours that follow. The moment you open your eyes, before you even step out of bed, your mind is already making decisions. Do you hit the snooze button or do you rise with purpose? Do you scroll through distractions or do you take command of your thoughts? The first few minutes of your day act like a mirror reflecting how the rest of your day will unfold. If you choose discipline in the morning, you are declaring to yourself and to the world that you are in control, that you are not at the mercy of circumstances, that you are the author of your story. The human brain is wired for patterns, and when you establish the right ones early, they ripple through every choice you make after. When you discipline yourself in the morning, you send a powerful message to your subconscious mind. You are saying, I am serious about my growth, my purpose, my vision. That message builds momentum. Think about a soldier who trains to rise at dawn, no matter how tired, no matter how cold, no matter how difficult. That practice creates mental toughness that extends beyond the morning routine into every challenge faced in life. The same principle applies to you. If you can master the temptation of laziness in the morning, you will find it easier to master temptation in business, in relationships, in health, and in every area that demands your attention. The morning becomes your training ground, the proving ground for character, and the furnace where your discipline is forged. Consider the difference between someone who wakes up reacting to the day and someone who wakes up creating the day. The one who reacts is already behind, running after deadlines, feeling anxious, stressed, and out of control. The one who creates begins with structure, prayer, meditation, journaling, exercise, or whatever sacred practice aligns with their purpose. That difference compounds. Over weeks, over months, over years, one life feels chaotic and scattered, the other life feels steady and directed. The only separation between those two outcomes is the choice of discipline in the morning. You cannot expect order in your life if you start your day in disorder. You cannot expect peace if you start in distraction. You cannot expect clarity if you start in confusion. The morning is the foundation, and discipline is the cement that makes it unshakable. Discipline in the morning also builds confidence. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, no matter how small, you strengthen your trust in your own word. If you decide to wake at a certain hour and follow through, you send yourself proof that you are reliable. That reliability becomes the confidence you carry into the bigger challenges of the day. On the other hand, when you break promises to yourself first thing in the morning, you weaken that trust, and doubt creeps in silently. Confidence is not built on grand achievements, but on the consistent victories of discipline, especially when no one is watching. The morning is when those victories are won in silence, and their echoes shape the rest of your journey. Imagine discipline as a muscle. Every morning you flex it, it grows stronger. Skip enough mornings, and it weakens. But the beauty of discipline is that it doesn't just stay in one part of your life. The strength you develop in one area transfers to others. The discipline to wake early becomes the discipline to eat healthier. The discipline to pray or meditate becomes the discipline to stay calm in stress. The discipline to plan your day becomes the discipline to follow through on commitments. Discipline in the morning is the seed, and from that seed grows a tree with branches that touch every aspect of your existence. Without the seed, the tree never grows. Without discipline in the morning, you are building a life without roots strong enough to weather the storms. There will always be reasons not to be disciplined in the morning. The bed is too comfortable, the night was too long, the body feels too tired. But greatness is not built on convenience, it is built on consistency. If you only show up when you feel like it, you'll never reach the levels of life that require sacrifice. Discipline is not about what is easy, it is about what is necessary. And the morning is the clearest reflection of necessity because there is no audience, no applause, no recognition. Only you and the decision you make. The world will see your results, but only you will know the price you paid in those quiet early hours. Discipline in the morning also reclaims your time. Think of how many people lose their day before it even begins because they surrendered their morning to distractions, social media, or procrastination. By disciplining yourself to control that sacred window, you take back ownership of your most valuable resource, time. And when you own your time, you own your life. Those who master mornings often achieve more before noon than others do in an entire day. It's not about working harder, it's about working with focus, clarity, and intention that discipline provides. Without discipline, time slips through your hands unnoticed, but with it, every minute becomes purposeful, every hour becomes an investment, and every day becomes progress toward your vision. There is also a spiritual power in morning discipline, rising early, devoting those first moments to gratitude, prayer, or reflection, aligns you with something greater than yourself. It centers you, grounds you, and reminds you of your values before the distractions of the world test them. Discipline is not just physical, it is spiritual. It connects your mind, body, and soul in harmony. When you discipline yourself in the morning, you are essentially aligning with divine order, saying, I am ready, I am prepared, I am focused. That alignment becomes a shield and a compass as you move through the uncertainty of the day. Without that spiritual grounding, it is easy to be swayed by every noise, every doubt, every fear that comes your way. Even history shows us that men and women of influence, leaders, innovators, thinkers, and warriors all valued the morning. They understood that those early hours carried an energy unmatched by any other time of day. Their discipline in using that time wisely was not a coincidence. It was the cornerstone of their achievements. Whether through study, training, meditation, or creation, they seized the morning, and in doing so, they seized their destiny. The same principle applies now as it did centuries ago. Human potential has always been unlocked by discipline, and the morning remains the key that fits that lock. Discipline in the morning is also about freedom. At first, it may feel restrictive, waking at a set time, following a structure, sacrificing comfort, but over time, that very structure creates freedom. Freedom from anxiety because you have clarity. Freedom from regret because you lived intentionally. Freedom from wasted potential because you invested in yourself before the world made demands on you. The paradox of discipline is that the more you embrace it, the more freedom it gives you. And nowhere is this more evident than in the morning, where discipline liberates you from chaos and places you firmly in control of your path. Devotion builds inner strength and resilience because it is the act of connecting your life to something deeper than circumstances, something more stable than emotions, and something more powerful than your current limitations. When you begin each day with devotion, whether through prayer, meditation, affirmations, or reflection, you anchor yourself in a source that cannot be shaken by the storms of life. Life will test you, disappoint you, stretch you, and sometimes even break you down. But devotion is what gives you the ability to stand back up. It is not about escaping challenges. It is about facing them with a spirit that cannot be defeated. Devotion creates a foundation that is stronger than fear, stronger than doubt, and stronger than pain, because it roots you in faith, in purpose, and in clarity. Think about how easily life can pull people in different directions. One setback at work can ruin someone's whole day. One argument at home can drain a person's energy. One rejection can make someone doubt their worth. Without inner strength, without resilience, every little wave can knock a person off course. But with devotion, you carry an unshakable center within you. You remind yourself daily who you are, what you stand for, and why you are here. That reminder builds resilience. It whispers to you when life gets loud, telling you to hold steady, to keep walking, to trust the process. Devotion is the practice of putting fuel in your spirit before the road of life drains you. And with a fueled spirit, you can keep moving forward when others stop. Inner strength is not about pretending to be unbreakable. It is about being able to bend without breaking. Devotion teaches you how to bend. When you pray, when you meditate, when you surrender your worries in those early moments of the morning, you are releasing what is too heavy for you to carry alone. You are learning to trust that there is a bigger plan, a greater force at work, and that trust gives you the resilience to endure. Without devotion, many people carry burdens they were never meant to carry, and eventually those burdens crush them. With devotion, you are reminded that you are not walking alone, that there is strength available to you beyond your own, and that strength allows you to rise again and again, no matter how many times life pushes you down. Devotion also shapes your perspective. A devoted heart looks at challenges differently. Where others see problems, you begin to see possibilities. Where others see endings, you begin to see beginnings. Where others see defeat, you begin to see lessons. This shift in perspective is what resilience truly is, not denying pain, but finding meaning inside it. Devotion teaches you to see through the lens of faith instead of fear, and that vision changes how you respond. A devoted person doesn't collapse under the weight of difficulty because their mind is trained to look beyond the moment, beyond the struggle, to a purpose that makes the pain worthwhile. And that kind of vision cannot be taken away by any obstacle. The truth is, devotion builds consistency, and consistency builds strength. When you commit daily to aligning your heart, your thoughts, and your spirit with devotion, you are training yourself to respond rather than react. You are training your emotions to serve you instead of control you. You are training your mind to stay calm in chaos and your soul to stay hopeful in despair. This kind of training doesn't happen overnight, but devotion makes it possible day after day. Just as a bodybuilder strengthens muscles through daily resistance, devotion strengthens the inner self through daily connection. Over time, that inner strength becomes unshakable, and resilience becomes your natural response to adversity. There will always be moments that test your patience, break your routines, and challenge your beliefs. Devotion is what prepares you for those moments before they arrive. It is like putting on armor before stepping into battle. You don't wait until the arrows start flying to get ready. You prepare in advance. Each morning of devotion is preparation. You are fortifying your heart with gratitude, your mind with clarity, your spirit with faith. So when difficulties come, and they will, you are not easily moved. You already built resilience in the silence. You already built strength in the stillness. You already built courage when no one was watching. That preparation is what makes the difference between being broken by challenges and being built by them. Devotion also reminds you of your why. Inner strength doesn't come from just pushing harder. It comes from knowing why you're pushing in the first place. Devotion brings your purpose to the front of your mind daily. When you devote time to prayer or reflection, you reconnect with the bigger picture. You remind yourself of your vision, your loved ones, your calling, your values. That reminder gives you the fuel to keep moving forward when things get hard. Without devotion, People forget their why, and when you forget your why, you lose your way. But when your why is strong, when it is renewed every morning through devotion, your resilience becomes unbreakable because you're not just enduring pain, you're enduring for a purpose. Another power of devotion is that it builds patience. Resilience is not only about strength, it is about endurance. Sometimes the hardest battles are not the ones that hit hard and fast, but the ones that stretch over weeks, months, or even years. Devotion teaches you how to wait with faith, how to endure with grace, and how to keep your heart steady when the answers don't come quickly. Morning devotion creates the discipline of patience. You sit in stillness, you surrender control, you trust the process. That practice carries into the rest of your life, helping you endure seasons of delay and uncertainty without losing hope. And patience is one of the strongest forms of resilience because it keeps you moving even when progress feels invisible. Devotion also helps you overcome fear. Fear thrives in uncertainty, but devotion creates certainty. Not certainty of outcomes, but certainty of strength, certainty of guidance, certainty of presence. When you devote your mornings to aligning with your higher power, you remind yourself that no matter what comes, you are equipped to face it. Fear loses its grip when faith steps in. Resilience grows when you learn to act in spite of fear. And devotion is what teaches you to do that daily. You begin to trust your steps even when you cannot see the entire path. That trust builds inner strength that fear cannot weaken, and it builds resilience that obstacles cannot stop. Finally, devotion transforms you from the inside out. Outer strength may look impressive, but it is inner strength that sustains a person through life's hardest battles. Outer success may come and go, but inner resilience determines whether you rise again after failure. Devotion is the bridge between the external and the internal. It shapes not only what you do, but who you become. Over time, a devoted person carries an unshakable peace, an unshakable courage, and an unshakable spirit. They move through life not because it is easy, but because they are anchored in something deeper than ease. And that is the true strength that cannot be measured, cannot be faked, and cannot be broken because it is built every morning in silence through devotion. Your morning sets the tone for your destiny because the energy you begin with is the energy that flows through everything you do. Each day is like a blank canvas, and the morning is the first stroke of the brush. If the first stroke is careless, rushed, and chaotic, the rest of the painting tends to carry that same energy. But if the first stroke is deliberate, calm, and intentional, the rest of the canvas reflects purpose. The way you shape your mornings becomes the way you shape your future, because destiny is not created in giant leaps, but in daily steps. And the first step of every day is always your morning. When you wake up and choose to fill those first moments with clarity, gratitude, devotion, and direction, you are literally writing the script of your life. The morning is not just about routines. It is about rhythm. It creates momentum. Momentum is a powerful force. It can either drag you into frustration or push you toward greatness. If your morning begins with negativity, with distraction, with disorganization, that momentum will carry through your day and multiply. That momentum will carry through your day and multiply. But if it begins with focus, discipline, and vision, that same momentum will carry you upward. Your destiny is not decided in a single moment of success or failure. It is shaped in the quiet decisions you make at the start of each day. Consider the mind as fertile soil. The morning is the planting season of each day. What you sow into your thoughts, your spirit, and your emotions in those first hours will grow throughout the day. If you plant seeds of worry, doubt, and fear, those will sprout into stress, hesitation, and missed opportunities. If you plant seeds of faith, gratitude, and determination, those will blossom into confidence, resilience, and breakthroughs. This is why the most successful people in every field guard their mornings carefully. They know that their morning mindset is the foundation of their destiny, and they refuse to allow it to be corrupted by distractions or negativity. What you feed your mind first thing in the morning is what your mind will serve you all day long. Your morning is also where you choose alignment. Every day you are pulled in countless directions by responsibilities, expectations, and pressures. Without intentional alignment in the morning, you risk spending your day scattered, chasing everything and achieving nothing. But when you start your day aligned with your values, your goals, and your higher calling, you move with direction instead of drift. Alignment creates harmony between what you think, what you feel, and what you do. And when there is harmony, there is power. That power propels you forward with confidence, and that confidence shapes decisions that determine your destiny. Every destiny is built not only on opportunity, but on clarity, and clarity begins in the morning. The morning is also a mirror. It reflects your priorities back to you. If you say your health matters, but you spend your morning scrolling instead of exercising, the mirror shows your truth. If you say your dreams matter, but you start your day without planning or focus, the mirror reveals your lack of commitment. But if you say growth matters and you start your day with learning, discipline, and gratitude, the mirror confirms your integrity. The way you treat your morning is the way you treat your destiny. The mirror doesn't lie. If you want a different future, you must create a different reflection each morning. Your habits are shaping you, whether you acknowledge them or not. And your morning habits are the most powerful of all. Another truth about mornings is that they are your chance to reset. Life will always bring mistakes, failures, and setbacks, but the morning gives you the opportunity to begin again. Every sunrise is a second chance. No matter what happened yesterday, you can choose to rewrite the narrative today. That choice is powerful. Too many people allow the weight of yesterday to crush the potential of today, and in doing so, they alter their destiny. But the morning whispers start fresh. When you embrace that reset, you step into a life where you are no longer chained to past failures, but free to shape new victories. Your destiny is not destroyed by one bad day. It is built by your ability to rise in the morning and begin again. Your morning also determines the quality of your focus. In a world filled with noise, distraction is the greatest thief of destiny. When you allow your mornings to be consumed by chaos, your attention is scattered before the day even begins. But when you dedicate the first part of your day to stillness, to reflection, to clarity, you sharpen your focus. A sharp mind cuts through obstacles that a dull one cannot. A focused morning builds a focused life, and a focused life leads to a destiny of purpose. Great achievements are not the result of luck. They are the result of intentional focus carried out over time. And intentional focus always begins with intentional mornings. The tone you set in the morning also defines the emotional state you carry. Emotions are contagious. If you start your morning stressed, you carry that stress into every conversation, every decision, every task. But if you start with gratitude, peace, and strength, you carry that energy into your relationships, your work, and your opportunities. Over time, the consistent emotional tone of your mornings becomes the consistent emotional tone of your life. A destiny of joy, peace, and fulfillment is built by mornings filled with gratitude, faith, and positivity. The way you feel when you wake up doesn't have to control you. The practices you choose in your morning have the power to transform how you feel and ultimately how you live. Your morning is also the gatekeeper of your discipline. How you structure those early hours proves whether you control your time or your time controls you. If you give in to laziness in the morning, you are training yourself to give in to laziness later. If you rise with order, with commitment, with a plan, you are training yourself for victory in the hours ahead. Discipline is not built in the grand moments of life, but in the quiet choices you make when no one is watching. Your morning is filled with those quiet choices. And every choice strengthens or weakens your character. A destiny of strength, success, and significance is only possible when discipline is forged in the silence of the morning. The morning also reveals your relationship with faith. To start your day in prayer or devotion is to acknowledge that your destiny is not shaped by your strength alone, but by the strength of something greater guiding you. Faith in the morning sets a spiritual compass for your day. It centers you when the world tries to pull you off course. It grounds you when uncertainty tries to shake you. And over time, that faith creates resilience that no obstacle can defeat. Your destiny is not just about what you achieve, but about who you become. And who you become is deeply influenced by the faith you nurture in the quiet of your mornings. Lastly, your morning sets a rhythm of gratitude. Gratitude transforms how you see everything. When you begin your day thankful for breath, for opportunities, for the chance to grow, you unlock joy in places where others only see problems. Gratitude doesn't change your circumstances immediately, but it changes how you move through them. And that shift determines the destiny you create. A life lived with gratitude is a life that attracts abundance, connection, and peace. And that begins not someday in the future, but today in the morning, with a decision to see blessings before burdens, opportunities before obstacles, and possibilities before problems.